Welcome to another episode of Don't Call It Small. I'm your host, Natasha Foreman. If you don't know me and you have no clue what this podcast is all about, let me share a bit. I'm the CEO of Foreman Associates, LLC, where we provide consulting, business support, and professional development services. And Don't Call It Small is where we talk all things business, share tips and news that you can use, and highlight the people and ideas behind the products and services that we buy. To learn more about our team, please visit foremanllc.com. Hello, everyone. Woo-hoo! I hope that you're having a great day so far. Oh my goodness, I'm blessed to be here with you. I've been zipping and zooming all around trying to juggle so many things, and I'm super pumped about my 2 books being released on the 20th. Oh my goodness, we're getting so close. Yes. Oh my goodness. So my virtual book release party is the same day as my birthday, October 27th. That means you get to party with me, to celebrate my book babies and to celebrate my 45th birthday. Yeah, baby. Your girl's turning the big 45. I had to double check the other day because I forgot how old I was. So, anyway, make sure that you get up there and order your books this week so that you get them in time for my party. Yay! I've got some great news coming about that. You can pre-order through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, other global retailers. You can search online for Seek Him Volume 1, Testing Your Spiritual Comfort Zone. And the companion workbook is simply titled Seek Him Workbook 1. For those of you who are wondering when my first business book is scheduled for release, because I know that we've been talking about that and people have asked me, it's slated for next fall. Yep. So I'm working on that. We'll get to that. I'll keep you posted as the months progress. All right, so let's move on and get into today's topic. Today we're going to talk about how you can support the entrepreneur in your life. That could be your spouse, your significant other, your family member, your friend. And before we get into that, let me get something off my chest right now up front before we get any further. If you're married to, dating, related, or friends with someone with a business and you don't give 2 rat turds or even 1 about them and their business, then this episode isn't for you. If you could care less about their business succeeding or failing, then just come back next week. Listen to episode 48 because today's episode is for loved ones who want to support their loved ones. Get it? Got it? Good. So, with the air cleared out, let's get down to business, shall we? If you recall from episode 46, I shared that according to, it was the Wall Street Journal, Americans are starting businesses at the fastest rate in more than a decade. That's what their research shows. People are capitalizing on demand and new opportunities, whether it's from losing a job, finding yourself underemployed, or just realizing that there's no better time than now to pursue your dreams and passions. I salute anyone who has decided to take this leap into the abyss of the unknown. If you've been listening to this podcast, then you know that I've shared in previous episodes some of the traps and painful lessons that business owners, including myself, have faced, some without recovery. And this makes me think of a quote from Jules Pierre, the co-founder and CEO of the Grommet, that says, ignore the hype of the startups that you see in the press. Mostly it's a pack of lies. Half of these startups will be dead in a year. So focus on building your business so you can be the one left standing. That was a lot, right? That, my friends, is what so many businesses are focused on, that not dying. And just being the last one there. Well, at least not before we're ready for them to die, because your business at some point is going to no longer exist. You're just really, trying to fight that clock, that time of when it goes. Some businesses can last over 100, years, and some last a year. So you're just really trying to get in there to try to keep your business revived and alive and thriving. One major factor that keeps entrepreneurs going is the love and support they receive from family and friends. And that support can come in the form of emotional shoulders that we lean on. It can also come in the form of financial and operational support. We turn to our network, our tribe, our village to help us, especially when we're getting started, trying something new, or trying to recover from being blindsided. And it happens to all of us. I can say that my family and several of my friends have helped me with every business that I've ever had. Yes. They helped and help through pep talks, prayer, promoting for me, and through purchasing my products and services. I read an article for Business News Daily that was published, it was back in February, where they wrote about the structure and support system that our family and friends represent to help us with our stress, work-play balance, and to keep a sense of perspective. And they said that, and so I was really thinking about that, because starting and managing a business can cause high levels of anxiety, stress, and depression. And it helps when you have someone to turn to when you're sitting back and you're wondering to yourself, like, what in the world was I thinking? I'm a complete idiot. This was the wrong time for this. This is the wrong market for this. Oh my gosh, what am I thinking about? I just don't what is wrong with me? I'm so stupid. Right? So there's a survey by Guyton Financial, small business entrepreneurs, and they did in this year, that found that around 10% of the established business owners were still using funding from family and friends as a source of capital. That ties into a quote that I found from Ryan Holmes, the co-founder of Hootsuite, who said, "When in doubt, bootstrap. Using your own personal resources is the easiest way to start a business. You don't have to convince investors about the merits of your idea. You just have to convince yourself." And that is the thought process of a lot of startup entrepreneurs when they can't get funding from banks or other investment sources, right? You start with the little cash you have. Some folks only have, a couple of bucks. Other folks say, okay, let's, pull the resources from family and friends and see what they can offer. But you keep it kind of lean. Well, really lean. Can of sardines and crackers lean. In 2016, Bank of America conducted a semi-annual survey of 1,000 business owners across the U.S., and they found that more than 53%, more than half of the respondents rely on family to serve important business roles, like advisors, employees, investors, and partners. 38% of those entrepreneurs surveyed had received a financial gift or loan from family and or friends at some point to fund their business. So 35% said that friends and family helped them the most with running their business. On the flip side, let's think about that. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who struggle with the truth that their family and friends have absolutely no desire to roll up their sleeves and get down and dirty in the entrepreneur's business. 57% of respondents said that they rely on family and friends for emotional support. Well, you do the math, that means that roughly 43% don't. Because either they can't or they won't. And I know some entrepreneurs who are in absolute pain because their spouse or significant others down for the money to roll in, but they aren't down for sitting silently and being a sturdy shoulder for the entrepreneur to lean on, cry on, whatever, right? There's a lot of us walking around in a deep, dark depression because we feel alone, sometimes lost, and oftentimes confused, with few to no one to speak to our issues and fears and failures and mistakes about, right? So you just kind of feel like you're in the twilight zone all the time, just in this dark space. And so for those of you who are, walking in those shoes, I say this: form relationships with other entrepreneurs, preferably seasoned and experienced ones who have fumbled and bumbled so many times they can now laugh about it. To all of my femalepreneurs, my womanpreneurs, here's a quote from Jessica Alba. Her actress. She's also the founder of The Honest Company. She said, "Being a woman in business doesn't come without challenges. My advice, surround yourself with other supportive women that encourage you, share ideas, and get you motivated." Now, once again, let me stress this. Be very selective about who you connect with. All right? Because a Debbie or Donnie Downer will drain the life out of you because they're drowning. Misery loves company. So just be mindful of that. In episode 17, I shared some of the things that entrepreneurs need to do to get the support they need, how to ask for help, how to face and overcome fears, how to legally protect your ideas and your business. Episode 18, we dissected of whether or not you have what it takes to thrive in business, right? Because not everyone, you could start it, but it doesn't mean that you have the chutzpah to just keep going long term. And so you can always listen to those episodes to get into the mind of an entrepreneur and brand spanking new one. And some of the things that they're having to toss around and ponder. Now, this episode is not speaking to the entrepreneur, is speaking to the people that are in that person's life. So I'm saying this. Here's my question I'm posing to you. How can you support that entrepreneur? How can you support small businesses? And you can volunteer and provide business referrals. That's a non-financial way that friends and family can support a business owner. Business News Daily says that you could consider skipping the big Black Friday rushes during the holiday season. You know, the ones where you guys are getting black eyes and, chokeholds and tripping and all that other stuff and just the crazy nonsense. Yeah, that. Skip that and instead support your local businesses on Small Business Saturday. And more importantly, remember them for everyday shopping in your community. And, in between liking the Insta models, the 2 cute babies, amazing food posts, be sure to like small businesses on your social media feeds. Follow the work, share their post, comment back when you see something you like. Now, some of you are related to, in a relationship with, close friends of a business owner or an entrepreneur. I want you to listen close because you really need to take notes. So I'm going to repeat that. So if you're related to, in a relationship with, or friends of a business owner or entrepreneur, get out something to take notes, right? Okay, you got it? All right. Now, a moment ago, I shared how much entrepreneurs lean on or wish they could lean on family and friends for emotional, financial, and or operational support. Let's look at some do's and don'ts. Ready? Are you sure? All right, and don't get, your undies all caught up in a bunch when I share these. Understand this. Entrepreneurs, business owners, we're sensitive about our businesses. Right? Like when Erykah Badu says she's sensitive about her music. Okay? It's the same thing. We're sensitive about our music. I mean, look, there we go. Our businesses. Our business, they're our babies. We've given birth to an idea and it's living, breathing, and growing. So please be mindful of how you refer to it, speak about it, treat it. This means, number one, don't come to us for handouts, freebies, and hookups. Every product and service that we provide is attached to time and money, both of which we can't afford to give away all willy-nilly. Just because you're related to us or, you're our friends, don't have a mindset of entitlement, this expectation that you're just going to get something, right? Why not pay for that cup of coffee, dude? Why don't you pay for those shoes, that book, whatever, without expecting that business owner in your life to hook you up? Please. Number two, spouses. Just because the credit card has an extremely high limit, meaning the threshold, you can just spend, or it has no limit at all. You just spend, like it's just free money. That doesn't mean spend. Every time you spend, a bill has to be paid. It has to be paid. It's not free. You just don't get it. It doesn't mystically, magically just appear. It's like there's just card that just something appears. It doesn't just appear. And if you aren't paying that bill, then don't get swipe happy with it, please. Support your spouse through your financial maturity by asking yourself, would I buy this with my own cash? And if the answer is no, then don't swipe that card. If the answer is yes, and you have cash, baby, use your cash. I've been frugalicious for years. So one thing no man has ever complained about when it comes to me, they've got other things to complain about, but the one thing they have never been able to complain about is my spending habits. If anything, I save them money. So there's never been a man who's like, oh my gosh, and all she does is shop and she swipes that card and oh my gosh, she's putting me in debt. No. There's not one man on the face of this planet that's ever dated me that can ever say that. I'm more inclined to spend my money than theirs anyway. So, I mean, that's just me. So no knock if you're into spending someone else's money. But let me just say this. Your entrepreneur spouse will appreciate you for not being swipe happy. And guess what? Those of you who have dreams of getting married one day, la, 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 do, 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 do. It's a good test of character to see how swipe happy you are with that fancy credit card. Just think about it, all right? I want you to consider this. This year alone, many of us got clobbered by the economic arm of COVID-19. COVID-19 is like an octopus, and one of the arms, one of the little tentacles, arms, right? It was this economic one. It was a financial one. Many of us are underemployed, unemployed, have less clients, less customers, businesses that are suffering, by bills that are piling up. Some of us, our businesses just went belly up. And if you're dating or married to a person who was shining bright when the money was rolling in, and now they act like a booger wolf butthead, now that the money's slowly trickling in because it's not coming in like a river, it's just kind of like like it's just kind of like dropping in like that faucet that just keeps like dripping because it needs, yeah. So this is a huge, waving, flashing, blinking, spiraling red flag. It's time to have a family meeting, a coming to Jesus meeting, a something meeting. You just need to meet. Loved ones. Yes, you. The temperamental one with conditions attached. Yes, love, you. Please try to understand that entrepreneurs, business owners, are dealing with 1,001 things, issues, people, ideas, fears, oopsie daisies, and challenges all at the same time. Home is supposed to represent peace and allow us to give in to the extreme of vulnerability. We need that. We can't deal with the constant fire hydrant experience in our career and then come home to another fire hydrant. The money that we bring into the household is based on the net percentage left to us after the employees and business expenses have been paid. That's how many small businesses operate. Yes. So if our revenue drops drastically, so does our pay. If our contracts are slow paying us and we're waiting 30, 60, 90, 180 days for repayment, for that payment to come in, they just keep saying checks in the mail. The last thing we want to hear is your mouth form the words that somehow declare your level of anger about not having money to spend. If you think that you're angry, what do you think we're over here doing? Throwing a party? We're freaking out on the inside and trying not to let it overflow outward. We're trying to solve problems, put out fires, calm down the village, slow up those bill collectors. Crap happens. But we don't need you slinging it our way. There's a lot of highs and lows in business, and we try to prepare for them as best as possible. But, like this year proved, many of us never met a beast like COVID-19, or, as many people call it, the Rona. Yeah, Rona clobbered so many startups, baby and seasoned and even long-established companies of all sizes. And what many people didn't realize is that many of our businesses were already in struggle mode before the pandemic. We were tap dancing around for months and possibly years trying to fake it until we made it, trying to fake it until we rebounded. And Rona said, gotcha. And it not only exposed us fully, but it broadcasted for the world to see. When your company can go belly up in 1 to 3 months of no revenue, it was already hemorrhaging. So what do business owners need from family and friends? Well, that brings me to number 3. Volunteer to help us out operationally. Yes! Volunteer to come do some administrative or some other task-oriented work for us for free. Gosh, and if it's such a struggle, for at least an amount that we can truly afford to pay you until we can really pay you a solid living wage. If you know that your family member's business is in need of a receptionist, office manager, store manager, payroll clerk, bookkeeper, stock clerk, server, busser, or whatever, please help them. You can track your hours, and then when there's enough time to pay you, then you can get paid from that pile. Or you can just do it as a gift. Just a gift. Volunteer. Because you want to see the business succeed. Whatever you do, don't just sit back, watch the business struggle and fail, and you know that you could have contributed to the success in some way. This leads me to my next point, a very important point, a point that reinforces what I said about entrepreneurs being sensitive about our business. Point number 4, be mindful of how you talk about the business. Don't ask, how's your business going? That basically says, is your business making money? Are you able to pay the bills? Is it profitable? Instead, ask questions like, hey, so do you have any new products rolling out soon? Or are you bringing back any of the oldies but goodies? You can ask, what current projects are you working on that you're excited about? Or, what's your vision for the company for the rest of the year? Or, which of your clients do you have the most fun working with? Or, what does your day-to-day schedule look like on average? You can ask them, how can I best support you in your business? You can ask, what does your business need most right now? Or how about, what do you need most in your life right now? Here's a good question. What is your dream getaway day? Right? If they're going to play hooky for a day. Another question, where would you like to see your business next year? Do you see how these questions focus on the baby, which is the business, its growth and maturation, right? And not on whether the diaper is clean or dirty, or is the baby colicky or not. This also means that if we do this, right, and we agree and let you come help us with our business, you need to be mindful of some other things. That leads to number 5. Don't criticize us and don't tear down our ideas. All right, let's have this woosah. One thing that I've learned is this. If the person I'm speaking to isn't out there getting the crap beat out of them by this big old world, then their advice and counsel doesn't mean beans because they can't relate. I'm also not interested in the peanut gallery. If you way up there in the peanut gallery, I don't need to hear nothing from you. I'm not interested in hearing from someone who doesn't, hasn't, and won't risk vulnerability, failing, and failure to chase a dream, a goal, a vision, a mission. Get it? Got it? That reminds me of a quote from Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx. She said, most of us want to tell our coworkers or friends or husbands or wives our ideas. For what reason? We want validation. But I feel ideas are most vulnerable in their infancy. Out of love and concern, friends and family give all the reasons or objections on why you shouldn't do it. I didn't want to risk that. And for those same reasons, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please understand that some phases of our idea we just don't want to share with you. We can't share with you because you, my love, may poo-poo the heck out of it and convince us that it isn't going to work, it's not good enough, it's not for us, or whatever. We're already our biggest critic. We don't need you in the amen corner. Let us test things out and see that it's crap. And then maybe we can tweak it and make it magic. Or we eventually resolve that, yep, that's crap. But the science of business is about digging, exploring, testing, trying, tweaking, twirling, flipping, spinning, pouring, and examining over and over until something works. Kathy Hughes, that sister right there, that's a bad sister. She's an entrepreneur, radio and television personality, and a business executive. She said, quote, don't let anyone convince you that your dream, your vision to be an entrepreneur is something that you shouldn't do. What often happens is that people who are well-meaning, who really care for us, are afraid for us and talk us out of it. End quote. Taking that into consideration, when it comes to supporting us operationally, support us. Don't criticize us. Most small businesses start with the entrepreneur rolling solo, which means they are also the bookkeeper, file clerk, receptionist, assistant, office manager, social media manager, and so on and so forth. That also means that we're going to drop the ball sometimes, a lot of times, and things won't be picture perfect. They may not look all fancy smancy like the marketing team's collateral for that more established, bigger budget having company. Nope. And our offices may not be as organized. Stuff may be in the most awkward of places. Receipts can be in shoe boxes, manila envelopes, or crammed in our armrest or glove boxes in our car. Folks, we're doing a lot. We forget a lot. We need help. We can't afford the help. Not in the early stages, and not when the economy knocks us down and spits on us. I ask you these questions that I'm about to ask. I think it's 3. No, I take it back. It's 6 questions. 6 questions. Please answer these 6 questions honestly. Question number 1. Are you good at organizing offices and workspaces? Question number 2. Are you good with marketing, promotion, social media posting, blogging, drafting, and scheduling newsletters? Question number 3. Are you good at bookkeeping and staying on top of deadlines, filing paperwork with the state and federal governments, etc., etc., etc.? Number 4. Are you good with creating and managing budgets? Question 5. Are you good at website design and management? Question 6. Are you good in the areas that you keep critiquing and criticizing your loved one who is doing the best that they can with what they have? If you answered yes to any of those 6 questions, then I say please, lovingly, shut your mouth and help this business out. If your loved one is a chef, they aren't truly focused on the administrative side of their business. They create masterpieces to please our bellies. They need help with the paperwork. So if that's your strong suit and you have 5, 10, 25 or more hours per week that you can devote some volunteer hours towards, please help them. If your loved one has a clothing store, online or brick and mortar, they are busy, focused on their passions, step in and help them where you can in the areas that aren't their strength. If they have a nonprofit and you know that they are always begging for people to give money to help the less fortunate, because let's keep it real, that's exactly what they do. They are trying to convince individuals, governments, and businesses to part with money so that the least of these God's children can receive a hand up out of a bad and possibly even horrible situation. Fundraising is not easy, and the people with the deep pockets aren't just freely pouring the money out. If you are good with writing grants, selling, closing deals, relationship building, or whatever, then volunteer to help out as much as you can. There are tons of nonprofits out there wanting to do good, but they are also, there's tons of them that are so broke that they can barely help anyone. They're so busy running around trying to raise money that they don't get to build, enhance, and support the programming to serve the people they created the nonprofit for. So why don't you step in and serve? Oh, and let me say this. Even if the entrepreneur in your life has a business that's been running strong 10, 20, 30 plus years, that does not mean that they don't still need help. Oh, trust me, they do. Whether nonprofit or for-profit, they are always competing for bodies and revenue. Both entities need money coming in to cover overhead and other expenses. Both entities have to keep reinventing themselves, stay relevant and recognizable. They have to keep revamping their business plans, strategies, and goals to be competitive and desirable. The entrepreneur in your life needs your help. Maybe they ask you all the time. Maybe they gave up asking. They still need help. Those of you with children, this leads me to number 6. What better way to expose your children to business and entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship than having them learn and work in the business a few hours a day or week? You see, I said a few hours, folks. A few hours. We have child labor laws for a reason. Just make sure I make that clear. In business, your children can learn math, science, reading, writing, logic, psychology, sociology, anthropology, leadership, management, art, engineering, technology, graphic design, marketing, and tons more. You can literally design projects within the work assignments you give them. You can create case studies to have them learn critical thinking and problem-solving skills. You can teach them how to create a resume, fill out a job application, interview and be interviewed for jobs, learn about the various positions within companies, not just that company, but other companies. Give them a product or concept and have them reverse engineer it. They can learn about human resource management, payroll, bookkeeping, and oh gosh, the list is endless. Endless, I tell you, endless. They can learn about product design, project management, program management. Imagine using their skills and talents and helping them to strengthen them. Think about it. Yes. Make it exciting, adventurous, and fun. You could organize this in cooperation with Mr. or Miss Entrepreneur, and then look at it. It's a win-win-win. That's how you expose children without burning them out and making them repulsed at the idea of taking over the family business. It's also how you rally the family around this legacy-building idea called a business that was created to provide a greater sense of freedom for the family. Remember that? Remember one of the reasons why you started the business was for freedom? Yeah, and then you found yourself a slave to the business? Yeah. Your children may find that they would like to start their own business. Or maybe they want to keep experiencing what it's like to work for other businesses, choosing instead to be a rock star entrepreneur that help make entrepreneurs' dreams come true. Look at that. So now it leads me to number 7. Earlier, I mentioned providing business referrals to and for the business owner in your life. You remember that? You remember that? Pop quiz. Now, let's delve into that for a moment. If you don't truly know what kind of business your loved one is in, now's the time to find out, please, before you get embarrassed and you embarrass them. You should be able to articulate clearly, clear enough for a 6-year-old to understand. If not, keep working at it or keep asking the vital questions that will help you to better understand. If you can clearly articulate the business that they are in within 60 seconds, then that means you can share that business with everyone who has a pulse. If they have a pulse, share it. You can post and repost on social media. You can hand out flyers and cards. You can tell everyone about this business. That includes other companies that complement the business. If you can see potential collaborations, alliances, partnerships, then you need to speak up. You need to tell your loved one about these businesses. You need to speak to the leadership at those other companies and with sheer excitement and determination, share how great your loved one's business is and that you can see a potential relationship in the future. Now, you may be wrong, but heck, you may be right. That is one of my strengths. I love connecting people. If you know me, then I've probably introduced someone to you, promoted a product or service you were selling, or did something to get you noticed by someone. I use this podcast to make connections for people I know and for complete strangers. You can use your personal, professional, and social networks to do the same thing for your loved one. You're quick to support other businesses, but make sure that you're also supporting your loved one's business with more zest and zeal than anyone else's, especially if you know that you need his or her business to succeed for your family to thrive. Treat your loved one like they're a celebrity and support their business accordingly. Make sense? Good. Now let's dive all the way into number 8. Please respect our time. I'm going to say that again. Please respect our time. That's number 8. We don't work traditional hours. And even if we do, please understand that during those hours, those are our business hours, work hours, hours that we're supposed to be working, hours that we're supposed to be focused 100% on what? Working. On what? Our business. On what? Our job. That means that just because you're doing absolutely nothing for the next 2 hours does not mean that we have 2 free hours to give you to talk about the TikTok post that had you just cracking up, or about how you constipated, right? Okay, great. You're constipated. We don't want to hear about the dream that you can't shake off, or the sale that you just heard about, or the movie you can't wait to next Netflix and chill to. Um, Even if we had the time yesterday, it doesn't mean that we have the time today or tomorrow. Please, 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 oh, please, save that request until our after hours. Please. Just because we operate our business from home, and I got to say this, does not mean that we just toss all business standards and practices out the window because we're not in a brick and mortar office building. If we don't have a dedicated office space or room at home, please, let's work together to respect the space that we have. And that when we're in that space, then we're most likely in work mode. Just pretend there's a bubble around us. Can you see the bubble? You see the bubble? Don't burst the bubble. Lovingly work with us to define that space and those policies and ground rules to ensure a semblance of normalcy. Let me share something with you. I've said it before in other episodes. Entrepreneurs can be a little flighty, all over the place, easily distracted. The last thing we need is for you, the kids, the dog, anything else to distract us. When we're in the zone, let us stay in the zone. If not, we're like, ooh, squirrel. And that's a wrap. Now we're chasing down a rabbit hole, lost, and then we have to work real hard to refocus, regain, and get ourselves back. Does that make sense? I can't stress this enough. This has always been one of my biggest pet peeves. I used to feel like snatching out every single strand of my hair, just one by one, to get my point across to family members. That, I just want to say, Dad, gummit, I'm working. Leave me alone. I'm working. I'm in the zone. Oh yeah. I'll just leave it at that because, I could go into some examples about my mother. Bless her heart. Oh, that woman, I love her. Oh, but if you are not clocking into a building that is designated as somebody else's company, anyway, let me stop. I love you, Mom. I love you. I love you. All right, so back to what I was saying. You can help us by creating a schedule for breaks, lunch breaks, woosah breaks, date nights, tech-free breaks, phone breaks, end of the day, shut it down time, right? You can help us create rotating schedules, seasonal schedules. Because sometimes, depending on how our companies are based, maybe we can have a different, schedule set up for different seasons of the year. Help us to build in and build out the time so we can have greater flexibility and the freedom that we so desperately wanted when we first had this brainiac idea to start a business. This leads to number 9. Please don't shame us or make us feel guilty. Don't shame us or make us feel guilty when 1, we don't meet your standards or expectations. 2, when we can't make or keep a promise. 3, when our work hours don't fit your social hours, family hours, or whatever hours, because sometimes, as I said before, crap happens and we can't fit in the perfect box. Sometimes we get inspired by something and we keep grinding on that idea until we get as much of it out of our head so that it doesn't then haunt us in our sleep, forcing us out of bed to do exactly what we could have done earlier had you not guilt-tripped us to stop. Please be patient when we're in the mad scientist mode. It's our gift. Yes, it can be inconvenient, but sometimes that payoff is, it's dynamite, right? Just, instead of asking us why we work so much, ask something like, hey, hun, sugar, babe, whatever you call, snoozy, boozy, whatever. Hey, when will you be taking your next break or wrapping up for the day? I'd like to help you relax, unkink some of those knots in your neck. Something like that. 4, Don't shame us or make us feel guilty when we have to reschedule plans because, we have a work issue, emergency business trip, whatever. Work with us to come up with a makeup date. Maybe it can be an ooh la la, extra lovey dovey or something. I don't know. Toes rubbing together. I don't know, but work with us. 5. Don't shame us or make us feel guilty when we come home from a long day or a rough day or a crazy day or a wow, I didn't know what the day was kind of day. Oh. And, we feel tired, exhausted, loopy, or like crap, and we don't want to do much or anything except sit on the toilet or in the tub or on the sofa or face plant in the bed. Please, cut us some slack. 6. When we're super excited and want to talk about a product, service, something from work, a new client, or whatever it is about our business that has us so geeked up, listen to us like you would have your ears and eyes glued to your favorite celebrity if they were blabbing away on social media about their day. Yes, it can be a drag when your significant other is always talking business, and yes, there should be some limits and boundaries. There's some good advice about that from Megan Bride, a woman quoted in an article I found on AARP's website from 2015. I'm not an AARP member. I'm not eligible yet. Got some years to go. However, there's some really great articles that they provide, both online and in paper. Megan was being interviewed, and she was speaking about her relationship with her husband, Jim, who started an energy consulting firm after working years at a large corporation. And Megan's quoted as saying, "Build in time together very deliberately. A small business is like a newborn baby. It has needs all the time. It's vital to the health of your relationship that you don't let the business take over your personal life because it could. At the same time, it's okay to talk about the business while you're out on dates or spending quality time together, as you would talk about your jobs or your kids or other major things." End quote. I thought that was a really good quote. I will say, just don't make work the sole focus. Your partner's first, business people second. And we can slip and forget this. Cut us some slack and lovingly remind us, this is our time right now. This is lovey-dovey, cuddly time. Or whatever you need to do to switch our minds so we can switch hats. That leads me to 7. Don't constantly remind us about how we're dropping the ball in some area of our life, or how you're picking up our slack, or in what ways we're not carrying the household load, or how our business isn't bringing in as much money as your business, or your full-time job, or your trust fund checks, or whatever. And then rattle off all the things that you do, which makes you either shine brighter or seem like the martyr. Yeah. Because that cuts deep. That cuts deep. And that wound is really hard to mend and heal. That also means don't utter the words, "You love your company more than me," or "You spend more time at work than with me," or anything that seemingly makes the entrepreneur, that business owner, see an ultimatum of choose me or the business. What you really want is quality time. So consider other ways to ask for it. I don't know, maybe flirty, cute, geeky, nerdy ways. Something other than making that business owner feel like they're cheating on you with their company. Our relationships aren't supposed to be about us comparing what we are or aren't doing to make the world of our family spin round and round. That leads to some pettiness that is bound to turn explosive. And some of you all have been divorced, are considering divorce, are going through divorce because of that. As an entrepreneur, we're carrying around a lot, and we're trying to be a lot for ourselves, for our family, for our business, for the people that make the company a business, and for so many other people. We're wearing a lot of hats, but we're not a superhero. No matter how much we want to believe we are, No matter how many different cards and little figurines you give us, no matter how many times we dress up like one for Halloween, we're not. We're flawed. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to jumble something. We're going to disappoint ourselves, disappoint you, disappoint our children, our parents, and anyone else expecting something from us. And when we do, don't make us feel worse than we already do. This leads to number 10. Don't kick us while we're down. This applies to the business owner who has or is facing a major failure, setback, or disaster. When we're already down on our knees, or worse, on our face, and all of that grime and spit and tears and snot and everything is just all just coagulating and just meshing together all on our face, we are beaten and battered. Please, please, please don't kick us while we're down. If we're struggling, we need the love and support from family and friends, not the cynicism, the arguments, the expectations, the finger pointing, the eye rolling, the tea sucking, the arm crossing, the huffing and puffing. We really don't. We need to hear and see that you're here for us. You have our back. We matter. You love us no matter what. You're proud of us for digging down and trying each and every day. I don't care if you're mad at us. Just don't kick us. Show us some mercy, some grace, please. We get our butts kicked on the regular. Can our safe space truly be our safe space? When home isn't the safe space, guess where we don't want to be? That's especially bad in a pandemic. You can tell how toxic the home front is if we would rather risk being away than being crammed up with you nagging, nitpicking, judging, ridiculing, cussing, and fussing at us. Please. I am begging for every business owner, every entrepreneur out there. I'm begging on their behalf. Please don't. Woo! Ooh-wee. All right, woosah. Okay, so there you go. There's 10 major things that you can do to support the entrepreneur in your life. Now, you know what? It's October, and it's birthday month for me and some other folks, but all right, I'll just get past that. We're also not too far from December, and that's the month that so many of you like to blow through your hard-earned cold cash and buy some things that are oftentimes questionable. And I know I said don't be swipe happy, especially when the money is funny. But if there's a budget, a true budget, and you have the money to do so, let's look at some gifts that you can get the entrepreneurs in your life, whether for their birthday, hint, hint, business anniversary, hint, hint, Christmas, hint, hint, or some other holiday, or just because you want to let them know that you love and support them. And I found a list created by Brianna Morgaine for B Plans. I don't know how long ago it was, but I like some of the products, so I'm seconding her votes. Are you ready? All right. Hopefully your hands aren't cramped if you've been taking notes. Let's get started. For the entrepreneur who, like me, gets ideas while in the shower or soaking in the tub and gets frustrated because we can't get out to jot everything down, there's a possible solution. A waterproof shower notepad with pencil. Yep, you heard that loud and clear. I know. I didn't believe it until I saw it. One company called Heal, Heal, PT, they call theirs Aqua Notes. Their Amazon page says, write down creative ideas, notes, lists, quotes, and sketches before your thoughts escape you. # shower thoughts. Jot down a quick love note or inspirational quote for your partner or kids. Oh, how cute. I don't know. Check it out. A 40 sheet pad for less than $8. Let me know how that works for the special person in your life, or for yourself, or both. For the entrepreneur that's into fitness or needs to be because they've inhaled way too many donuts in this era of COVID-19, consider a GPS watch or fitness tracker like Garmin GPS or Fitbit or Apple Watch. I'm in need of a new Fitbit. I drowned mine in Lake Lanier. Yep, I forgot I had it on, and I went on a wave runner and then went swimming with my life vest on. But I didn't have a life vest for my Fitbit, and the one I had wasn't waterproof for what I was doing. So yeah, anyone want to gift me one? Look out for your girl. No, but seriously, Consider gifting the entrepreneur in your life a device such as this to track their walking, running, heart rate, etc. Some of these trackers even track sleep and more. Check out Uncommon Goods for the quirky, geeky, and nerdy entrepreneur. I love, love, love the products that they sell. If the business owner that you love dearly happens to also love math, science, puzzles, history, and trivia, then you can definitely find something for them at uncommongoods.com. All right, now if you know they love coffee and coffee mugs, consider finding a great quote on a mug from somewhere like Etsy. Or maybe you can customize a mug and put one on their, one of their favorite phrases on it. I mean, are they known for saying something like all of the time? Why not put that saying on a mug? It's a great way to put a smile on their face, make them laugh, blush. You get my drift. With so many of us stuck inside at home working, you got to get the motivational juices flowing. A lot of folks aren't used to working from home. Like, my mom. Like, I thought she was going to leave the country when she was finding out she's going to have to work from home. And so I've always said, well, Mom, why don't you turn on some music so you can jam out, in between your calls and all that stuff, you can crank it up and get hype. So why not get, the person that you love a nice Bluetooth speaker? Bose has a nice one that, has some awesome sound quality. Heck, even if they aren't working from home, if they have an office, hook them up with a Bluetooth speaker. They can listen to music. They can listen to this podcast. They can share with their team members. See? Sharing is caring. Now, here's a gift that too many of you need right now, especially if you have children or you yourself is clumsy. A washable keyboard. What? Yes, a washable keyboard. Spilled coffee, juice, or whatever it is no match for a washable keyboard. There's even some that are foldable. Check them out. Get one or two because you also want one. Don't buy this for your significant other and then have your butt all on it all the time. If you want one, get one for yourself too. That's all I'm saying about that, all right? And since I mentioned coffee, please make sure that they have a quality hydro flask cup to keep their coffee or tea nice and hot for a long, long time. So they're not constantly rewarming theirs like my mom does. And sometimes I do because my mom got me this really cool mug and then I don't finish my coffee and I have to keep rewarming it. So, and there's a better chance of not spilling anything on that washable keyboard if you get them a good quality hydro flask. I'm just saying. Alrighty, moving on. Noise canceling headphones. Need I say more? This is a must-have, especially nowadays. A great gift to block out everything but what they need to be listening to. Bose, and I'm not getting so let me be very clear. Nobody's sending me any checks for mentioning these brands. All right, I'm just saying. So Bose always makes good ones. Of course, there's other hot brands out there. With so many of us posting social media pics for branded content, here's another idea. Why not get your love, your pal, your buddy, friend, sibling, an octopus tripod that allows them to mount either a camera or cell phone? And I just thought about that. Speaking of cameras, consider one of those too, especially if you know that they're selling products that need the best shots ever to get the attention and buzz needed for customers to flock to their business. Because I don't care what you guys say, some of you, your cell phones are not really taking those good quality pictures like you think. So, yeah. That means, have a loved one hear this episode and they can buy you a good quality camera. Something else you can do is consider getting them a membership to something they need, like a spa, yoga studio, or if they love books but can't just find the time to, to read them, you can get them a membership to Audible or, something comparable, or a subscription to a meditation app like Calm or Headspace. We all need to be able to breathe through, right? Speaking of subscriptions, consider one for Evernote Premium, or jump on renewing a subscription they already have. Gift to them what they normally shell out some pretty pennies for each year. That's be cool, right? Want to make them laugh, but watch everyone else shriek? Give them an executive decision maker paperweight. Yeah, an executive decision maker paperweight. Imagine before making a decision, they spin it, and wherever it stops, they yell out their answer. So they're like, babe, you want to go meet go over to my mom's with me, and they spin it, and it's like, no. um, so the Bay Burke store, BEY-BERK store, has one for about $24 on Amazon. That's bound to make some people crack up laughing and tick off some other folks. I love it. I use it so much that someone would try to hide it or throw it away. Ooh, I've got another easy fix. A backup phone battery charger and a portable wallet charger. Both are essential because with the hundreds of apps we keep running on our phones nonstop and our batteries are draining faster and faster. And I don't know about you, but mine always dies at the worst time. I'm grateful for my battery charger that I keep in my purse. Now I just have to remember to keep the cord attached so I can plug my phone into the charger. Because what's the purpose of having the charger if I can't plug the phone into it? Lord, it's rough out here sometimes. I mentioned books earlier, so consider getting them an e-reader, a Kindle or something like that. Or you can go a huge step farther and get them like an iPad or an iPad Pro if you just really want to shell up some dough. Okay, well, maybe the iPad Pro is pushing it size-wise and cost-wise, but you get where I'm going with this. They can have a dedicated device to read their ebooks and listen to audiobooks, and they'll have you to thank for it. I mean, they could be able to read my books. Oh, my. Yes, because CCAM Volume 1, Testing Your Spiritual Comfort Zone, is also available as an ebook. Plug. You could even gift them one or more books on business and leadership. Yep, see? Something to think about. I don't know about them, but I am still old school when it comes to taking notes. I still like using paper. Yep, I have plenty of devices to work with, but there's nothing like writing out what's in my mind. Even preparing for the podcast episodes. I have a notebook that I jot things down. I outline my ideas. I use notebooks for my book development, progress tracking, and much more. I'm back to journaling, and yep, I use a book to do that. My Bible study notes are in a notebook. So consider gifting the entrepreneur in your life a nice quality notebook like a Moleskine. Now, I will say this. If you know they would like to blend old school with new school, you can gift them the Moleskine Evernote Smart Notebook. That when it's photographed and used with the Evernote app, it's really cool. The notes are digitally synced and searchable in their Evernote account. Really, really cool. Yes. So I hope that those ideas brought, kind of made you say, ooh, yeah, I got some great ideas for so-and-so's birthday or Christmas or whatever you want to do. Oh my goodness. It's that time again. Just kind of like zoomed by. I did for me. I don't know about you. But it's time to wrap up and go our separate ways until next week. If you have questions or suggestions about this show, please email them to us at don'tcallitsmallbiz@gmail.com. I have a quote from Kelly Clements. Kelly said, praise is about elevating you and your spouse to a level where you really believe in each other. It's not based on hollow compliments, saying nice things just for the sake of saying them, but rather on the idea of truly believing in someone. It's truly seeing and being seen. The definition of intimacy is, into me, you see. Intentionally seeing the best in our partners turns praise into an aphrodisiac. That's what I'm talking about. Go Kelly. With that, be sure to check us out on Facebook at Foreman & Associates and on Instagram and Twitter at Foreman LLC. Our podcast Twitter handle is It Ain't Small. Be sure to also follow us, share us with your friends, colleagues, and family. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Natasha L. Foreman. Reach out to me, say hello, share your story. I look forward to meeting you. I want to make sure to give credit for this song. It's Higher Up by Shane Ivers. Yes, repeating it again for you. Woo-hoo. Thank you, everyone. Thank all of you. I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in to the Don't Call It Small Business podcast, for sharing these episodes with others, and for your continued support. And don't forget what I tell you on each and every episode. Don't call what you're planning, thinking, dreaming, or doing little or small. Go big, go bold, or go nowhere. I'll see you here next time for episode 48. Have a super awesome day and week.